let's go over the three states of matter. First, a solid, which is firm and stable in shape and contains no spaces or gaps, such as a box. Second, a liquid, which has a consistency like that of water and flows freely, but has a volume. Oil is an example of this. Finally, gas is an air-like substance that expands to fill any space available. An example of this is oxygen.
Okay, we've got some quicksand that we've identified with this stick here that's about 3 feet long that's been half swallowed, and I'm going to go out and walk in it here briefly and give you a sense of what it looks like here. Whoa. That's what it looks like on top. It's got kind of a watery base, just stiff, but once you get working it, you really start going down. As you can tell, I'm just but hardly moved, but a couple seconds and I'm almost to my knees. And to get out. Shoot. And as you can see here, you go pretty quick. But thus the quicksand here. Let's try it over here. And we'll give this a couple seconds here. Just subtle movements up is what really kills people and swallows them. And I'm up to my knees, and I'm about 6'3" now. So shoot.
Look how much this one. Look how long that was.
As you can tell, it's up pretty deep, but it has such a good grab.
From what you saw in the video, what state of matter do you think quicksand is? It's hard to tell, isn't it? It seems like it would be a solid, but it also resembles a liquid. Well, today we will be conducting an experiment to figure out which state of matter quicksand really is. This experiment is called Outrageous Ooze, and this ooze will teach us all we need to know about quicksand. All of the materials that you'll need for this experiment are on your table. You should have a cup of cornstarch that's already in your bowl, a half a cup of water, food coloring, and newspaper. First, what I need you to do is spread out your newspaper across the table. Outrageous ooze can get really messy, but that's the fun of it. Once you have your newspaper spread out, you're going to take your bowl of cornstarch, and if you want your cornstarch to be colored, you can go ahead and take your food coloring and add just a few drops. That's all you need. I'm going to make my cornstarch blue. After you've added your food coloring, you're going to go ahead and slowly add your water as you mix it with your cornstarch, just like this. It might start sticking to your finger, but that's okay. Keep mixing until all of your cornstarch and your water is mixed together. And once it's all mixed, go ahead and pull your finger out of your ooze. Now it's really time to experiment. First, what I want you to do is take your fingers and tap on the top of the ooze. If your ooze is just right, it won't splash anywhere, but it will be hard enough that your fingers don't sink through. When you're tapping on top of the ooze, what state of matter is the ooze in? That's right, it's a solid. Now what I want you to do is take a handful of your ooze. It's easiest if you go slowly, and pull it up right above your container, and then lay your hand flat. When you do this, you can see that the ooze slides right off your hand and through your fingers back into the bowl. When the ooze is like this, what state of matter is it in? You got it. It's now a liquid. After all the ooze is off your hand, I want you to take your fingers and sink them down to the bottom of your bowl. Once they're at the bottom of your bowl, I want you to quickly try to take your fingers out. What happens? That's right, they get stuck. Now imagine you were in a body of quicksand and your whole entire body got stuck just like your fingers did in the ooze. That would be pretty scary, wouldn't it? Finally, I want you to take the object that's on your table. You probably won't be able to see mine, so go ahead and just take a look at yours. When you put the object in your ooze, does the object sink or does it float? The object definitely sinks. Alright, I'm going to give you guys some time to play with your ooze before we set it aside to talk more about quicksand. Time's up! So which state of matter is quicksand? What happens with both ooze and quicksand is that the cornstarch in the ooze and the sand in the quicksand sort of just float around in the water. What we realized from our experiment is that when we tapped on the ooze, it froze and acted like a solid. But then when we applied less force, we were able to move our fingers freely throughout the ooze. That is the same way that quicksand will work. So if you were ever to get caught in quicksand, do you have any ideas of what you should do to get out? That's right. Move slowly. The slower that you move, the less that the quicksand will try to pull you in. So if you're ever caught in quicksand, just remember not to panic and slowly swim to the shore. Now here is a quick experiment that you can do on your own at home. Another thing that is just like ooze is ketchup. A long, long time ago, a man named Isaac Newton had identified everything that makes a liquid, and these are called Newtonian fluids. When there's something that doesn't quite fit that description, it's called a non-Newtonian fluid, which is what ooze and quicksand and ketchup are. When you're taking ketchup out of a bottle, it's actually better to just flip the bottle over and let the ketchup flow. When you bang on the bottle, it will slow the ketchup down. So next time, when you're out to eat with your family, take a bottle of ketchup for yourself and give one to a family member. Then at the same time, flip your bottles of ketchup over and see whose will come out first. Remember, just let yours flow.